Yeah, hello viewers. Welcome to today's edition of BD TV Match Center. Here with me is Ibrahim Abubakar. Nice to have you today on the show.
Thank you for having me, Tony.
Anthony, you were here last time and good to see you today on the show.
Good to be here.
Yeah, wow. We have a lot of interesting topics. We'll move straight to the transfer market. A lot of activities going on in the transfer market. Like we mentioned the last time that it's like Pep Guardiola has the financial muscle to flex in the January transfer market, and it's becoming obvious because three players already landed. And for me, Ibrahim, what does it mean for City? Although they are fifth in the table, is it that Guardiola is trying to catch up with the Premier League title race?
Yeah, so if you ask me, the last time I was here, I mentioned that you can never really write off a Manchester City side, especially a City side coached or managed by Pep Guardiola. And we've seen what has happened in the last couple of days where three players has come in. We have two defenders and an attacker plunging, I think, over 150 million pounds in trying to do that. And if you look at the table, they're currently fifth. And the difference, the points gap between Liverpool, who is sitting top, and City is just 12 points. That's 4 games. And the league is quite very open, if you ask me, because we have up to 14 to 16 games to go now. And 4 games out of 16 is just, like a pin in an ocean. So City all the way down to the very last game of the season. I still very much believe that they can it's anybody deeper than you expected. I can never write them off. So City, top 4 Premier League table, they are up for it to the very last game of the season.
Wow, interesting. Anthony,
Yeah.
like I mentioned the last time, I said, man, you can't really blame Amrin, for less activity in the transfer market.
Yeah.
But my worry is that they want to sell. It's like Rashford is like almost out.
Yeah.
Garnacho, Napoli, or Chelsea, and in a club that is struggling for survival, and they've not. Okay, we say they want to buy our own boy Osimhen. We don't know what is happening. So, what advice will you give Amrin now? Will you allow him to sell Garnacho? We know that Rashford is gone.
Yeah, so I believe that Garnacho should also leave. His mind is not in playing for United as it is, and from the Chelsea fan base, I think it's also that also caused some stir in the Chelsea fan base. People are asking, is Garnacho a good signing this period? We have the likes of Sancho, we have the likes of Neto, we have the likes of even Modric. But I believe that Modric is still he's still trying to develop himself. So adding a Garnacho to that team, in my opinion, is a very good one for Chelsea to add that, because one thing I figured in the Chelsea fan base is if they don't like a player that much, that player tends to have a good one against going forward. But this time around, I think it's the same thing. Garnacho is experiencing. I always fancied Garnacho a good player, and I think he's going to do well if he comes to Chelsea. And in terms of Rashford has not been living up to expectations in the past couple of years now. He has been very underperforming, if you'd ask me. And I think this is the time for him to experience something different. AC Milan is calling, Barcelona is calling. I think they are good clubs in terms of prestige to further his career and see how he's going to live up the later part of his 20s into his 30s. Let's see how he's going to recreate what he has been doing since when he was young, when he was given the mantle of becoming a leader in the Manchester United Manchester United team that didn't surface in his middle 20s. So I think for Amri, I think he should allow these players go. He should again get the team players he wants in the squad to also, because we spoke about this last week, that he is a stubborn coach. He knows how to set his priorities right. His formation remained the same as it was when he was in Sporting. So I believe it's something that he should do. Sell these players off, get people that will work for you, and try and make Manchester United great again. If I have to borrow what Trump does in the United States. So let's see what that will. I think that's a good one for Amri and for United going forward. Yeah.
For me, United are 13th on the table. They're just 10 points behind the relegation zone. And now you are selling your players, you are not bringing any player in. And for me, if you're a United fan, will you, because it's risky to sell And what if you sell and the transfer market closes and you can't get any signings and you are like 10 points behind relegation zone? That's a threat. So will you advise Amrin? For me, a lot of people feel that Garnacho is young, is enterprising, and going to Chelsea that is star-studded, Nkuku is there, João Felix is there, a lot of players in that position. For me, will you advise that, okay, the guy should sell the guy, or maybe perhaps the guy should go to Chelsea? Because even Garnacho, if he goes to Chelsea, I don't think he will command regular playing time, because that Chelsea team the squad is loaded.
So for me, I think it's a two-edged sword where you either sell or you keep. Either way, you're not getting results. We've seen matches where Rashford and Garnacho were left out of the team, and Manchester United didn't really perform. Then it begs the question of, is it about these two guys, or there is something fundamentally wrong in that team? And this is not the first time since Sir Alex Ferguson left the Manchester United side. They spent over £1 billion pounds. And it begs the question, if you're spending up to that, which is literally on par with what Manchester City, their neighbor, has spent too in that period, and Manchester City are getting results. So is it a matter of coaches? They've had David Moyes, they've had even Mourinho.
Yeah.
A host of good coaches that you can point to their career and say, okay, they've had a very good run. However, this has not translated to success for the Manchester United side. And now we're having a new manager who is literally taking a new mantle, a new region, a new terrain, leaving Portugal for England. And if you listen to one of his first interviews, he said he's done more press briefing or more press conference than his entire career at Sporting Lisbon. So this is practically a different ball game even to him. So he needs to for me, I believe he should keep it at par. Let those guys stay at least till the end of the season. Then while you are bringing in your set of players, the people you want to play for you can now let go of some other players. Then talking about Garnacho moving to Chelsea, and you would see that his position is quite star-studded here. However, most of the players playing in that same position are not performing too good for Chelsea. So I believe it's also a risk, it's a gamble on the part of Enzo Maresca trying to bring in Garnacho. And people tend to forget that Sancho is not a Chelsea player yet. He's actually playing on loan. And Amorim at one point has said that he wants the guy to come back to Manchester United. So that position is quite open for him. If Garnacho is switched, so it's like Garnacho is leaving for Chelsea, Sancho is going back to United. So give or take, I believe that United have what it takes to lift the 13th position if they can bring their mind together.
I want to oppose your point on whether Rashford should stay or go.
Okay.
This January, I think they should go because they are struggling as it is. Manchester United are a prestigious club. You don't need to be in the bottom of the league. That is a
yeah. So we tend to always want to point out that Rashford or probably Garnacho are not performing. However, when these guys were left out of the team, Manchester United didn't do so well. We could go back to how many games they've played without these two guys. How many did they win? I mean, they draw and lost. So these are the issues. So I feel it's not just about these two guys. Amad Diallo is on form. He's playing the best game. He's best in his best life right now. He's currently Manchester United best player. Anthony is currently on loan to, I think, Real Betis. Now you have Rashford and Garnacho. Let's take these two guys out. Who do you have on your wings? Your 7-11. Who's playing?
My worry is Pep is just 5th on the table. He has already acquired 3 players. That's the sense of urgency. But for me, as looking at Manchester United, and I feel that since the takeover, nothing significant has really
that's
happened.
what we're saying.
Because there's no sense of urgency for a team that is... United is a legendary club. For a team that is 13th position, 26, 10 points behind, if they lose 3 matches now, they could find themselves either 16 or 17.
Yeah. So
you understand? So, and for me, there's no sense of urgency. So, I think Amrin is in a trap. Because if you hire a manager, I think if he has his way, he would have liked to make 1 or 2 signings, but it's like he's not getting the backup from the board. And at the end of the day, he'll be the sacrificial lamb.
I think the question to ask is, do players really want to play for this Manchester United squad? But given that Amorim is doing very well, or he has performed in Sporting Lisbon, young players want to try out with him. But then again, the question is, who are the players that are ready to try out with an Amorim, given that Manchester United are actually in the middle of the table? So if that is not forthcoming, if they can't find players that are willing to commit to Manchester United, that might be a problem. But going forward, I think these players that are in the squad should leave immediately to create space for people who want to play for United to come in and play.
Those guys are not ready. They're not. See, you say players should leave. Who are you bringing in?
That's the question.
For a team that is 13th position, it's like 13th position, you sell like 3 players. And at the end of it, you're able to get 1. You are in double trouble.
So if you look at
Pep Guardiola now, he has bought 3. How many has he sold? Although he will sell.
You can't compare the market.
What I'm saying is that even United, they need. In fact, United should be doing making those signings if they are really serious about finishing on a good level. They should. So for me, I don't. The way it's going.
So if you look at it, to me, I think the board are literally telling Amorim, just try to stay afloat this season. Next season we'll find a way. Before the start of next season, we'll find a way to make sure that we get you the players you need, and we can let go of players that you don't want. Because right now you could see, like you said, Pep only had I think 10 game poor run. And you see what is going on in the January market, and they are getting in 2 defenders, 1 strikers all across the globe. One from France, one from Germany, the other guy. So it shows that these are teams that are very serious. They know what they want. So Manchester City, literally right now, the board are saying a club like Manchester City should not be below top 4. Pep, take us there. What do you need? I need these players, I need that player. And they've gotten some of those players. Manchester United, on the other hand, we can't say the same thing for the team. Again, since Alex Ferguson has left, the best coach ever was probably Mourinho.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
You understand? So, and they brought in Lukaku, Pogba, these guys,
now
Ibrahimovic. They brought in.
So
names.
why did you sack Ten Hag?
So their
fortunes have not improved.
It's not exactly what I'm saying. So if you're now saying they should sell Garnacho, so you're literally depleting the team, but you are not adding any value. So this is not the time to let go of those players. As a matter of fact, you could see what Chelsea did when the defense was cracking. They had to go bring Chalobah back from loan. They had to bring him back. Say, my man, please, we need you now. Stop that loan stint there. And he played, and you saw what he did. He literally wants to kill himself on the pitch on that day. And this is what we're talking about: teams that wants to compete. They know what they. So Manchester United, I think they've lost their image as a team that has pedigree.
The coach came out the other day and said this is the worst United team.
He necessarily don't even have to say that. We know
he was being attacked for it, and he now said no, it's not what he means. But actually, we all know that's what he said. No, what it means that for him is the worst for him as a manager. But we know that truly this is the worst.
This is the worst.
Now, before now, like last week, 2 weeks now, there have been speculation about United going for our own brother, our own player, Victor Osimhen. But it's looking as if, as it is now, PSG is winning that race. I don't know, according to reports. So for me now, it's like they're not serious about, improving on their present, issues they are struggling with now.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
If you're an Osimhen, would you go to a Man United squad like this?
Yes.
I'd rather go to a Manchester United club than play for Chelsea.
You know why? The thing there is that.
Really?
You know why? I said, okay, you will allow him to go.
Yeah.
Why? Why would I to go?
Because he will literally just fit in. He's a top man. He's just getting into the team. And we've seen Ahmad plays a beautiful football. You have players like Bruno Fernandes behind you. So you have Eriksen.
For me, will you tell Osimhen not to come to United now?
I wouldn't want him.
Looking at his options,
because you have some sort of bias because you're a Chelsea fan. You want him to come to Chelsea, but literally, if he plays Chelsea and United in terms of English football, there's no way Chelsea can. You can't reckon Chelsea with United. If Osimhen comes to United now, even if they struggle this season, you know that they have what it takes
to
right the wrongs for next season, and it's a legendary club. So for me, Osimhen coming to United is far better than playing in Galatasaray.
Exactly.
Far better.
I was having a conversation earlier before we came on the studio, and we're talking about Chelsea. since let's look at the Abramovich era down to till date, who are the strikers that you can call on that have played for Chelsea and they performed? Take out Drogba, take out Diego Costa.
All those guys have struggled.
Exactly. Chelsea's football, Chelsea's high goal scorer is literally a midfielder. So Chelsea Football Club, I want to say from the Abramovich era down to this very moment, depends solely on their midfielder and their wingers, not even their number 9. You look at what is currently going on, it's a Palmer team. Palmer is not a striker. He's a midfielder.
Palmer is a midfielder now.
Exactly. Lampard was not a striker while playing for Chelsea. A midfielder, highest goal scorer, day in, day out. So the two people that you literally say have performed while playing for Chelsea were Didier Drogba and Diego Costa. We have the Crespo that could not live up to expectations. Shevchenko came in, couldn't do anything. Pizarro, same thing. We had Motu, Kezma, and those guys, they didn't do. And even Anika was at Chelsea at one point. Torres too. So you see what I'm saying. So if you had asked me if I was to be the agent of Osimhen, my man, Manchester United.
And again, for me, we talked about these few clubs. How about Liverpool? For me, maybe they feel that, well, they are cruising on top of the Premier League table. Everything is rosy. There's no need to sign players. There's no need to alter the structure of a winning team. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, for me, last time I also talked about the team. I said the manager is literally looking at, okay, these are the set of players that, did wonderfully well last season. Let me just work with this guy. If there's any lapses, probably at the end of the season. And I'm sure he has performed more than expectation, especially coming from the board. So he's taking them to the first position and is cruising, literally. You see, this is a season where you expect an Arsenal team to do wonderfully well. In the last 2-3 seasons, Arsenal did that second, third. And now, Man City is no longer, there per se. And you're seeing Arsenal still struggling. The Chelsea team that has also performed wonderfully well this season, more than expectation, from second and now sitting fourth. We have a Nottingham Forest. I think that's like the revelation of this season. Nottingham Forest doing wonderfully well. So Liverpool is literally cruising. The other team that are supposed to give them a run for their money, we have one sitting 13th position right now, and we have a Tottenham team also sitting, I think, 15, 16.
So how about Arsenal? They have been. In fact, I pity them, although not consistent.
Yeah.
They have issues with injuries. They've been in the market trying to buy this, trying to buy the. Still speculations.
Yeah.
Do you see Arsenal, landing 1 or 2 players before the January transfer window closes?
There is not much noise about the Arsenal football team. There has not been any, there have not been any noise on that side of the Premier League world. Arsenal, to me, they have a lot to. They still need like a striker. Gabriel Jesus, Jesus just left, went on injury. They only have Kai Havertz to worry about, and Kai Havertz is not giving his 100%. Gabriel Martinelli is not giving 100% as well. So my point is, do they want to stick with it? We have Saka, who is also not is also on injury. So my point is, do they need to rush into the transfer market now? Do players want to play for an Arsenal team, or is there any player out there that wants to come in and make a difference in an Arsenal team, and take them to and make them challenge for the Premier League? That is my own opinion. But I think going forward for Arsenal, I might not care so much about what Arsenal thinks, as long as they are not let them keep on doing this. Next year is my year. Next year is our year. That's what I want for an Arsenal side.
I get where it's coming from.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like them. I don't like Chelsea fan. I like being biased against.
There's a statement.
I'm happy where they are right now. They took Sterling from us. It's good. I'm okay. I'm fine.
So there's a statement
the same point with Nottingham Forest. So it shows that second position is
still fluctuating.
It's fluctuating.
Yeah. So, and there's a statement you made about Kai Havertz not being on 100% currently. My question would be that so can you give what you don't have? So Havertz in itself, and this thing that the EPL are doing currently, especially the big teams, where you go to the transfer market and you bring in a supporting striker, a winger, you try to convert them to a straight 9. Chelsea is currently doing it. Jackson didn't play as a striker for Villarreal. He was a supporting striker. Nkunku a supporting striker. But guess what? Jackson and Nkunku are the ones striking for Chelsea. Arsenal, even Gabriel Jesus had to leave Manchester City at some point because he was not there. So exactly. So Kai Havertz was never a striker. Chelsea tried, he performed a little bit, but these are not players that will give you 20 goals. Even 15, you hardly get 15 goals in a season. They struggle to give you that. So when you're not striking with a Kai Havertz, that will probably give you 5, 10 goals in a season.
You say that Arsenal needs to go to the transfer market.
They need to get a 9.
Okay.
Not just going to the transfer market. They need to get a 9.
They need to get a top striker. So we'll move quickly from there to look at the fixtures for tomorrow, Saturday. Quite interesting fixtures. Liverpool at home with Ipswich Town. For me, it's a dead rubber game. It's a walkover for Liverpool.
I won't say it's a walkover because Ipswich has proven themselves this. Even though they are sitting, down the ladder, you see what they did against Chelsea, against Arsenal. Arsenal had to struggle for a goal to get all 3 points. Chelsea, on the other hand, they lost woefully. If you ask me, then they've played against the top dogs and they've kept their cool against them, except for Manchester City though. So I'd expect Liverpool to go into that game, carefully and respect their opponent. If they're going in saying, okay, Ipswich should get all 3 points, they might be, beaten.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. So I respect. Well, in my own opinion, I think it's a walkover game for Liverpool. You see what happened last week against Manchester City. I was even on the opinion that Ipswich could at least pull a surprise on us, but as you predicted, it was a no-go area for Ipswich. They didn't have that, and for a Liverpool side that is doing so well this season, I think it's a walkover for Liverpool.
Okay, Arsenal are traveling to Wolves. Wolves are like the giant killers of those days, and with their injury problems, any chances of Arsenal, leaving?
Yes, I think they have a chance to work on that, and maybe a point might be because, as we said I predicted last week, Arsenal had a draw game, and I feel the same thing would happen this period. This is the period where Arsenal keep on dropping points. We've seen that with them last season when they're supposed to pick up points and compete for the first position. They drop points when they enter the January period, February, and when they see them start picking up points, it's already too late for them. So I think Matheus Cunha for Wolves he has like a thing about transfers going on right now, so his head is not straight. So I think that might be an advantage Arsenal would have. But if Matheus Cunha can get his head straight for the game, I think it might just be a draw for both teams as well.
I agree with a draw.
No, I expect Arsenal to take all 3 points. Even a struggling Chelsea could get all 3 points against Wolves. So Arsenal playing, even as much as we want to talk about their injury woes and all of that, they've been, I won't say consistent, but they have a team. They find a way to always try to squeeze out all 3 points. This season, they've done it several times. So hopefully, if you ask me, a straight win for Arsenal.
Yeah, the big one is City, Chelsea. I call it the battle for top 4 because Chelsea currently they are 4th on the table.
Yeah.
City they are 5th on the table, and we're looking at the recruitment. For me, the advantage City, looking at good form, Chelsea perhaps a bit, but City playing at home, would that be an advantage for them against Chelsea?
So they might not be as much of an advantage. I know we all see Foden is on top form right now, but I think Chelsea have answers to him. They have answers to Foden with the return of
James.
No, the return of James and the return of
Chalobah.
I think they have answers for Foden. Wherever he wants to go to, Cucurella is also doing fantastically well. Maybe not as fantastic, but then again, he's trying his best. But I think they have an answer for Foden. Foden is the only person that's giving players problems right now. He's the one on top form. Haaland, I think they have an answer to Haaland. But yeah, I don't think Man City, might, have an edge. I see Chelsea winning this game.
Saying it
I see Chelsea winning this game.
I'm also a Chelsea fan, by the way, but
I expect you to be.
I'll come from the aspects of data and what has happened in the past encounters. So Chelsea's first game this season was against Manchester City.
Yeah.
We lost 2-0 at home at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Then we see Man City having a very poor run of form However, recently they've been trying to get they've picked, at least they are scoring goals now.
Yeah.
You could see them score 2 goals, even if they are losing. You can at least 2 goals. Can you say the same thing for Chelsea? Chelsea in the last 5 games have either lost and their opponent scoring from behind. Chelsea scored their first goal, they lost. Scored their first goal, they draw. So you're now playing against a Manchester City side that has brought in 3 players and is looking to go for blood or in the Premier League, not even in the Champions, in the Premier League. I can assure you, if Chelsea is getting anything out of that game on Saturday, it will be a draw. All things being equal, it's a City game to win.
But look at the form. Chelsea has a better form than
Chelsea has. So the last time Chelsea.
I look at the last 5 games.
So the last time
that they are.
So again, if it's not about who has played. It's not about the last 5 games. So it's about Chelsea. Chelsea.
I want to ask. You talk about.
So form really do not matter when you're playing a rival game.
When you talk about form, the only
it might not matter.
It's only 2 points that is separate. When you talk about form, you talk like maybe
it's just 2 points.
8 points.
That's to tell you that even City has done wonderfully well this season.
That 2 points means that whatever happens, the table can change.
Can change because look at it. Before this game, in the last 5, let's just take out the last 5 games. Chelsea were like 6-7 points ahead of City.
But we are not competing with the Man City of last season. We are competing with a struggling City.
But they are back.
The struggling
with
City
Ipswich
has quality.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. So the struggling City has scored 8 goals in their last 2 matches.
Okay, let's move to Sunday fixture. Fulham hosting our own United we talked about. Fulham have our own brothers there, Kevin Bassey and Iwobi, and these 2 guys have been informed. So any chances of United, surviving another upset?
I doubt if United will be surviving this game because we've seen Fulham done damage to big teams this season. They did to Chelsea, and I think that was literally the foundation of Chelsea's problem, starting from Everton draw. So you see Fulham picking up 3 points in their last 5 games. They won, I think 2 or 3 times. So playing a Manchester is struggling. As a matter of fact, United is struggling. Exactly. You're struggling. You are suspending your players. You're keeping them not even on the bench. You're not even taking them out there. So you're playing against a Fulham side that is literally on top form this season. So I will give it to Fulham.
Wow, you give it to Fulham also?
I'd say it's a draw or a Manchester United to win.
You are always talking about finding a place for Chelsea to have a balance.
I understand where it's coming from.
So I understand that. So find a place where Chelsea should not be in a
precarious situation.
Yes, in a difficult situation.
Left to me, I'd say Chelsea.
So let's go straight to La Liga. We have interesting fixtures. Currently, Madrid topping the table, and they are playing Valencia. Madrid are playing Getafe. Valladolid, I mean to say. Mbappe is informed. Vinicius should likely. Alaba returns from injury. Do you think it's a walkover for Madrid?
Yes, it's a walkover. It's always a walkover for Madrid. We have an informed Mbappe that I've always been saying all these years that this guy will do something. I feel that the whole League One stigmatization has always gone into fans and thinking that he was always playing in a soft league and he has come to the big boys and he's now like trying to. But I say no, give that Mbappe that played that World Cup final a chance. The guy that scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final is someone that can do very well in the Madrid team. So this is my say for Mbappe. He might not be as good as Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the greatest player ever. But then again, I feel as though he is going to try and match that thing. He's still a very young guy, and I believe that he's going to do so well.
Barcelona, Valencia. Barcelona now, they are in fact, I don't know what is happening. So looking at their current form, do you think, and they're playing at home, we've seen them lost against lower team, Leganés, do you think them, winning this one at home?
Yeah, I believe Valencia has always been a tough team to crack, even for Barcelona or Madrid. But the Valencia we knew back in 2015, 16, thereabouts, is no longer there. I think they are down below the table this season. They have not really performed. So it should be a walkover for a Barcelona team that played against Benfica came back from I think a goal, 2 goals down. Also played against Real Madrid. They did wonderfully well there, so they should be able to deal with Valencia. However, like you said, we've seen them drop points where you think they'll get all 3 points. The latest being against I think Las Palmas. They could not do wonderfully well there. However, they should be getting all 3 points against Valencia.
Wow, interesting. That's all we can give to you on today's edition of BDTV Match Center. Ibrahim, thank you for having you. We hope you'll be with us next week.
I always pick your call when I
Anthony, the die-hard Chelsea fan.
Yeah. Nice to always
I hope
be here.
Chelsea win the Premier League this season.
I don't think
Yeah.
we are not chasing that.
That should be in the next 5 years.
I'm sure Chelsea fans watching are hoping too, just like the way you're hoping.
Well,
And for United fans, you guys should
So
maybe you pray and hopefully things good happens. And this is all we can give to you for today. We hope you enjoyed the show, and please stay tuned for next week where we'll bring to you more robust edition. Thank you. God bless. Cheers.